Well, morning, folks. Lester here. Hanging out with pretty much everybody today. Got dogs, birds, and today we are on the hunt for something we can use to kill lice on our. Did y'all see Wanda? Wanda's like, no boys allowed. No boys allowed over here, Carl. The girls are hanging out, and we don't want all that riffraff from you boys. And Carl's like, hey, I got my happy hands up. My happy hands should allow me access to hang out with all y'all, because I'm happy. See? And Wanda's like, Sometimes girls don't want to be bothered by boys. And Carl has not learned that yet. And Wanda, you almost fell down there, sweetie. Baby, your legs ain't built for that. Sweetie, I'm so sorry. I'm not making fun of you, but your legs ain't built for that kind of stuff. You can't be going off down the hills chasing Carl away. Carl's getting a little too close for comfort, and Wanda just wants to hang out with her daddy and not have to be bothered by no boys. And that's kind of cute, and it's also kind of sad. Carl just wants to visit. Carl, guys, he ain't got the loving feeling. Carl does not have that loving feeling. Now, Tat, on the other hand, he might have the loving feeling, but I think it's kind of neat and powerful to show you that Tat is not seen as the same level of threat as what Carl is. Mildred, do you have to always? But no, they don't want Carl anywhere around them. Tat's fine, as long as Tat's not got all that freaky deaky stuff going on. He's a baby. Can I get back to my video? Can I just get back to my video? All right, so we have a small issue. Now, this is obviously made for cattle. It's a very heavy dosage that's made for cattle. She has put her head under there and she's eating goldfish that I laid out for the birds. Mildred, you are just, that's Millie for you. That's Millie. But anyway, now we discovered that, actually Megan over at I'm a Survivor discovered that the goats have a little lice problem. And we're going to go ahead and head out this morning to Tractor Supply and go get the formula that we need. What we will do is mix it up in a 5-gallon container, and we will go ahead and spray all of our goats, the ones here at Longhorn Lester's, the ones back at I'm a Survivor, and then we'll go ahead and swing by and let Bree douse her goats down with it as well. It's something you do every year. We usually do it in the spring, and guys, I'm just going to tell you that Jamie and I don't want to say we were negligent, but we just didn't get around to it. We did have Ellie move all of the hay out of the Little's barn, and sometimes that hay is where lice and other kinds of pests can bed up and breed and continue to affect your animals all summer, spring and summer long. But we did move all that hay out. We got it all burnt, but what we never did was sprayed our babies down. And so Megan has discovered a small lice issue, and we assume if they have them over there, they probably also have them over here. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that this morning. You guys come with us. A little Tractor Supply is always fun. I love how they all get along so well. And these enormous birds are allowing Millie into their pasture to nibble up a few of the goldfish that I threw out for them this morning. Oh, and now they say, you know what? You've been in here long enough, Millie. Time to head on out. And Millie's like, okay. Only got to tell me once. All right, so I am just back from Tractor Supply, and I got me a pump sprayer, a new one. What we're doing today is going to be spraying animal premises. And we will be doing this for all of our babies. I'm going to have to do a little bit of reading to figure out how much to use. So y'all give me a couple of minutes. All right, so what I've read is it's 6 ounces for every gallon of water for premises. So what I'm going to do is open up this container over here, and I have filled it to 1 ounce. I'm going to pour it in. Now y'all watch. This is pretty cool. I'm going to squeeze the trigger which is not really a trigger. It's just kind of squeeze the bottle. And I have a 2 ounces. I'm gonna do it again. You ready? Squeeze. There's my 3 ounces. You'll get how this works, right? Now we only want to fill this to the 1 gallon mark. There we go. There's really nothing fun about doing jobs in the heat of the day. But if I was gonna say the time for the fun part of this job, it's pumping the sprayer up and getting it ready to go. And I may have lived a sheltered life, but I've never had a pump sprayer that goes over my shoulder. So I'm feeling pretty cool as I walk out to the goat pastures today. Yeah, there's not everyone can say they've done this before. And Lester has. Lester's done it. I'm doing it today. Gosh darn it. All right, so what we're gonna do is, even if the goats are laying up over there, just kind of laying out in the sun, doing their thing, I'm gonna spray this entire pasture. This is their headquarters. This is where the goats, the Wacky Pack Shack, is their #1 hangout. But they also do hang out here in the other little loafing sheds as well. I have to be careful over there because of Carl. But guys, you saw the instructions. You saw what it said. It's safe for poultry. It's safe for all of your animals. So you don't have to worry about anyone getting sick by this. It's going to kill all the stuff that we don't want that could be living on our babies. The insects, you know, the mites, the fleas, the ticks, the whatnot. And I'm just going to go by. I got it on a very fine mist. That's probably too fine. Give me 1 second.
Do you remember we fell in love? I remember, don't worry. Do you remember? I remember how it all began. How could I ever forget? It's the first time. Do you remember? I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it coming in the air now. I can feel it.
All right, that put a pretty good coating down over here. And so we're happy with our Wacky Pack Shack. We're gonna make our way now over here to the secondary loafing shed. This is Tat, and he's not going to bother us. Yeah, a lot of folks are very upset with me, but guys, we knew this day was going to come. I would say that the lady who's the most upset is the one that insists that I should send these birds off to a wildlife refuge to let them live in the thousands of acres of a wildlife refuge. And I get why you would say that, because you don't want to see them confined to a 150 by 150 foot squared in pasture. But I have to remind you that this is only temporary. And then, of course, we have 3 of those pastures that are all adjoined. So they can go anywhere inside any of those 3 pastures, those smaller paddocks. And then I want to show you one last thing. I'm going to do it while I'm standing here. Look it, guys, we also have gates that open up that go out into our wooded pastures. Now, the birds don't want to be in the woods. They don't. The birds, look, here, come on, Tat, come here, follow Daddy. I want to show them something. The birds don't want to be in the woods. They don't want to be out there with the goats foraging. They can if they want to. Come on, Tat, come on over here and show everybody something. Let's demonstrate something. There's some good green grass over here, and there's all kinds of things that the ostrich in nature would eat. They love to forage. They love to graze. Now, there are sticks and twigs and all kinds of things, but there's also little rocks and all kinds of insects that climb around. And that kind of stuff, leaves, they do nibble on. And so it's not uncommon to find the birds over here. Tat, come on, hurry it up. I don't have all day. But see, he's going to stop right there to eat some grass. And so I just want you guys to understand that they're not confined to a very small petting zoo type cage. where they can't wander and walk around. You got an itchy? You got an itch on your head? I love the way that he scratched his own head with his big old goofball talonly foot. Anyway, Carl and his two lady friends are the only ones that we have separated into a smaller pasture, but our other birds can walk around and do their thing. And you know, we only had to separate Tad off the big pasture because he fell over Miss Pat's fence. So, last thing I'm going to say about this is, once I get that fence line finished, come on, buddy, show everybody you can walk out here into the woods if you want to. Once I get that fence line finished over at Miss Pat's, then I will let everyone out over there again. Because Carl, they're not fighting. They're just goofing around, roughhousing a little bit. And once I have the proper fencing, they can roughhouse all they want to. So this over here is a temporary fix, a temporary, a temporary setup. I'm just doing it temporarily until I have time to get some fencing done. And some money. Yeah, time and money, y'all. So always, you can't forget about the money part of it. All right, last thing that I want to do is walk inside here with Carl. You heard what I said, the last thing I want to do, right? You did hear that. The last thing I'm going to do is walk over here and spray this last loafing shed. I don't want to have problems with Carl. I hope he'll stay right where he's at. But knowing Carl, he's going to come over here and see what I'm doing. I just come to spray this loafing shed. The goats are no longer eating on the hay. It's just kind of been here. But I'm going to spray it out real good, so if any of our goats do decide to come and bed up in here, they're not going to be getting any ticks and mites and fleas and chiggers and anything else that might live in all this stuff. And then I told Jamie, once I get my tractor bucket back on, I'll come over and take this hay and drag it out of here. We could even burn it, which might not be a bad idea. Oh my gosh, look. And as I speak, there goes something saying, this is my bed. This is where I live. Now, I know if y'all are saying, Lester, why don't you go ahead and spray them? It says you can spray poultry. I made the solution too heavy for them. If I want to do a spray, to spray on them, I have to dilute this quite a bit more. The solution that I made was made for their bedding areas. The solution to spray on them has to be quite a bit less. So here comes Carl. So I am just gonna walk on out of here. He has his happy hands up. He's not being mean. He has a smile on his face. He's not red. Look how fast Tat's gonna leave. Tat's like, I'm not touching him, Carl. I'm just visiting. But Carl doesn't want Tat to visit. Yeah, Carl's problem right now is not me, it's Tat. They're the ones that roughhouse. But, all right, so now that we have all the bedding sprayed, I feel better about that. That's cute. Wanda, don't run him over here to me. Wanda, sheesh. So I've just come back out and did a sweep over the area where we cremated Dixie. And we had a rain not too long ago, and all of this has uncovered since the rain. So this goes to show you that it's going to be a while. It's going to be a lot of raking, a lot of moving this thing around, trying to pick up every screw and every nail, every big staple that I can find, so as I don't end up, puncturing a tire. I'm happy to know that the lime that I put down seemed to have worked pretty well. You don't see any flies. There's no odor. There's no smell. Everything cremated just like I had planned. I am going to go ahead and reapply a second coating of that lime. Like I said, we got a rain, about an inch of rain, and I think it pretty much washed all of my lime away. But, here's a great example. Trixie's walking around the pasture with me, and she has no interest in this area whatsoever. Like none, whatsoever. Which tells me there's nothing for her to smell for. Which I would say is a pretty darn successful cremation. The lime feels a lot like baking soda or baking powder maybe. And I just spread it by hand. I just take a little bit and toss it around the area that I worked in. And it seems to be doing a fantastic job. All right, before I leave you, I want to show you one last thing. This is not a good thing. This is not a good thing at all. But remember how we've been a little bit confused about who was Charlie and who was Susan? Well, watch this. Listen carefully. Did y'all hear that? Hey, Charlie. You hear the hiss? Yeah, that was not be a good thing. Crazy enough, Charlie is not showing near the colors that Tat shows. He doesn't have near the colors which define a lot of the bird's maturity yet. But he's hissing, which means he's upset, agitated, angry, just not real happy. And so that is why we have Charlie in our third pasture. And yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do with these big birds, y'all, but we can't be having all this. They're just too young for this. We thought this would be a problem we would deal with much later in life, not at the age of 1. I know. All right, well, we just turned on our sprinklers. It's time for our babies to cool off in the heat of the day. And that's good because they need it. You can see how hot Carl, how hot-tempered he is. Look how hot-tempered he is. We love him. Guys, it's always a pleasure having you hang out while we make our videos and kind of talk to you about what we do around here on a daily basis. And right now it's a whole lot about pasture cleanup and taking care of our babies. So we appreciate you, and we will catch you guys on the next video.
Don't let your troubles fester. Come watch Longhorn Lester.
Yeah, something like that.